Thanks, Chair. Richard, what's your view on the value of current tax reliefs available for children's programmes and animation?
Essential. They work really well. They have become a key part of any form of ambitious children's content, to use Ollie's word, whether that's animation, live action. It currently stands at 39%, and everyone thinks, well, 39%, but actually it's 39% of 80% of your spend, which is then taxed, corporation tax at 25%. So it nets down to around 24% into a budget. But that has become absolutely key to every show we make for children. And even smaller, projects, digital outgrowths of our television programs and so on. We're now looking for the tax relief on that, because that gets another 25% into the budget. So it's become absolutely key.
Thank you, Ollie. Anything to
add? So the tax credits are amazing, and inward investment and things like that. But that essentially means we're probably working on US shows. So there's a cultural thing there. It's great for business. Great that we're working on these shows and have business, but a lot of it will come with the US voice, because that's where most of the work's coming from, both TV and film and everything else. The other thing to say is a tax credit is only of any value if someone is spending money, and as we've all just discussed, only the BBC is spending money. So essentially, we're kind of funding the BBC via the tax credit on children's content. So I think it's absolutely essential for us as producers, but I think upping the level of that is only of any value if more people are putting money in the pot to start off with.
Maddie?
So it's kind of irrelevant to me, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm not pulling in any money for the content that I'm making, so no, I don't really have anything to say to
and it relates to the previous question about the YAC fund, as it was called, which is you can credits and funds are only great if they are supplementing money that's already on the table, and that's that you.
I'd love that to be relevant to me, but sadly it's just not.
Doesn't take.
That leads on nicely to the next question, which was going to be, and I'll pitch it to you, Maddie. Then, do you have any ideas whether the tax credit system could be improved for children's TV? Well, children's content.
Children's content, yes. It would be nice if it was something that could be relevant for me, but again, for that to be relevant, I would have to be making money on the content, or have to be drawing money from somewhere for the content that I'm making, which currently isn't there. So yes, but is sort of my answer for that.
Ollie?
I can give you an answer of yes, more, or change some of the rules so we get more. It will all be more. I'd say you have to come back one more step and just say, like, what is right for children, and who is funding that content in the first place. If it's the government through tax credits or more tax credits, great. If it's the BBC through a great proportion, great. If it's health and education, great. But I'm afraid it's all more, because as I said to you, most of our global income comes from YouTube, and it doesn't pay for 20% of the content I make. That's coming from the BBC. Again, that's public money. And again, you can call that license fee money and not government money, but it's funding. It's funding and finding. How do we make them find it as well?
I would just add, I think there is one, obviously an enhancement. It does work. So, in terms of backing a scheme that really works for the producers, I think it would be great. I think an enhancement, and I think you could bring in almost like an additional criteria around British content, British relevance, and British cultural content, which is it's not. So there might be an enhancement or an uplift if there was content that was directly relevant and directly created for British children. I think that would be a simple thing to do, but that would be really effective as a way of pump priming content, because one of the issues is that the content that is there, and of those 727 hours, or if you go on to YouTube Kids, look at the front page, it's, I would have thought, 90%, 98% North American content.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Also leads me on quite nicely. In your experience, is the UK tax credit regime competitive enough alongside international competitors, if you like?
I don't know the details of the French and Canadian systems, but I think it's there are in adult television, there is a sort of competition. But if you can take your productions around the globe, then there's a very marked competition around tax credit systems. So if you want to shoot in Bulgaria, they'll give you a 30% tax credit. If you want to shoot in Morocco, as we have recently, there'll be a tax credit, a sum that's set aside that you all apply for. But I think it's. In a way, it's a moot point for us, as you know, whether how it compares. It would be great if it was, the higher it is, or the more attractive it is, the better value the children will get in the end in their programming.
Ultimately as well, the children, when they're watching content online, they don't know whether a piece of content has been made by one person or two people or a company of 100 people. They're just watching the videos that they like, which is why I think it's important that any incentive or grants that are made available are available to all content creators, regardless of the size of the company that they might be producing with.
Thank you. Ollie, anything to add?
No. It's just that the value of it is only on what other people are investing in it. So we need to solve that bit more importantly than the tax credit. I'd always ask for more, because I work in the industry, right, so more's good, but you have to have people putting money in the pot.
Thanks, Ollie. Thanks, Chair.